non-governmental organization that is started by Teso Professionals who from different backgrounds in agriculture, education, health, engineering, social works and development, gender, and other professions that are existing in our country and Teso specifically. It came as a result of observing some challenges that exist in Teso as a region. And the few skilled people said, what can we do to help Teso return back to its glory? How can we contribute to our land, Teso? What kind of contribution does Teso need? So Teso Professionals therefore come together and say, let's form an organization that brings us together, that enables us to pool resources, to pool skills, to pool networks, to pool abilities towards developing and reviving and powering Teso to prosperity.
That is very beautiful and quite encouraging. So what is the major agenda of Teso Professionals?
The agenda of Teso Professionals, first let me start with the vision. Our vision is to power. When you talk of powering, it's just like you're connecting something to a socket to ignite it. It's to power Teso to prosperity. And how do we intend to do that? We intend, one, by pooling resources. Pooling resources are in diverse form. One of the key resources that we feel Teso needs is skills. Pooling resources in form of skills, in form of knowledge, in form of capabilities, to one block and engage and use those skills and that knowledge to think, to design, to build, to network, and explore opportunities for investment in Teso. Secondly is to pool resources in form of finances. How? Membership contribution, proposal writing, discussions and negotiations with government and other agencies, to those that already have interest in Teso and those that have not discovered the potential that Teso has. Pool those resources together and undertake investments in specific areas, especially in areas that we think, if put in resources, can trigger development in Teso. As you know, Teso is an agro region. We are agriculturalists. We are into animal and crop production. Therefore, how can that economy, in the state at which it is, be revived, be accelerated, be triggered to increase or bring better livelihoods to the communities, to households, to individuals? That question, the how, is what we are trying to address. Therefore, focusing in the missing links within the Teso economy, which is an agricultural economy. We are looking at, can there be investments, if specifically put under processing and manufacturing, within the available resources that can trigger development, that can trigger increased production, that can trigger quality products, that can trigger market access. Because as we speak right now, my dear brothers and sisters, our economy is not a bankable economy. Most of our people cannot even have an account because whatever they get, even if they sold their goods, they sell to solve an immediate problem. Therefore, it's not an economy that can encourage to save. That economy needs to be powered. That economy needs to be ignited. That economy needs to be triggered to increase the production beyond survival. For now, Teso is in a survival mode. Everybody wakes up to think, what do I need to survive, not what do I need to save.
Okay, but that sounds very interesting, and the agenda sounds very big indeed. Now, why did you choose to? Why now? Because Teso has been in this situation for a very long time. Why now? Why have you chosen now?
I must say that maybe we slept for so long. We should have started this quite a long time ago. But there's time for everything. Why now? It's because there can't be tomorrow. It has to be now. Much of the time has already been wasted. Right now, as we speak, Uganda as a country has got a national development plan, which has set a plan towards the middle income country. And therefore, there are other regions that have actually arrived to middle income. But where is Teso in the development or in the push towards middle income? Look at the housing, look at the water, harvesting and irrigation, the formalities, the structuring of our agricultural sector, which is supposed to power us, is not even close to something that you can say can take us to middle income. Look at the urbanization, our trading centers, our towns, our district headquarters. They're still like villages. You find a grass-thatched house in the middle of a town, and you're talking of middle income. You look at our farming methodologies. They are still pre-colonial. We are still using the hose. We are still using a hand hoe. We are using ox plows. But I tell you, there are regions within Uganda you visit. There's already mechanized agriculture. You can't believe we live in the same country where other regions are using combined harvesters. Processing of milk. There are regions that can't consume the milk they produce. But Teso up to today does not even have enough milk to consume, does not have enough eggs to consume, does not have enough food for itself. It can't even save seeds for the next season. So the sleeping has been too long, and it's time to start.
Now, you talked about milk, and one thing that I'm quite very aware of is the fact that Teso had cows at one point, and I'm also aware that the people of Teso have been promised a number of times that your cows will be paid back. But how just is the promise of the cows being paid back, keeping it as hoping, and the hope is never coming back? Because I have known people who say, I was doing well, if only they had not taken the cows. So what about the cows now?
Actually, the thinking is not bad. When you have something and you lose it and it's promised to be given to you, you remain in hope that it will be given to you. But in the Teso Professionals' perspective, that can be followed. But we must start again. Let that be a supplementary. The return of our animals and our wealth be a supplementary to a moving economy. But for now, we cannot say until we receive compensation, we can start. We must start. How can we start? Even if these cows are given to us, these cows need to be added value. What we are thinking about is value addition, increased productivity. The cows that we have right now in Teso are not economically viable. A bull that we keep for almost 5 years cannot earn us 1.5. It remains between 900, 1.2. But there are bulls that you keep for 2 years, 3 years, and you are earning 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. We want to power this economy in a way that even if the other cows are coming, our thinking, our attitude, our mentalities must be found right already in a moving towards increased production. Therefore, we need to improve the quality of the animals that we produce and we keep and we rear, both in the form of cattle, goats, piggery, chicken. They have to improve the quality. And I think that's where we are coming in as Teso Professionals. What kind of quality of animals are we keeping? Crop production. We're looking at crops. Some of our crops take 2 years to mature, but you cannot stay 2 years to earn. Therefore, we need to supplement that economy, those kind of crops, with short-term crops that are high yielding, in form of good seeds, in form of processing, adding value to what is already produced. That's why in Teso Professionals, we are looking at more into value addition, into what we are already producing, improve the quality of seeds, improve the quality of animals. We want to have cows. Like now, Nora, Komi, and parts of Soroti, you cannot no longer graze freely. So even if government brought you 100 cows, are you going to keep the 100 cows of all the time? You need a cow that you can keep and but harvest almost equal to 100 cows. So we need to improvise technologies and productive methods that can utilize the available land. Okay, Katakwite, Samuria, we have large land, we can still afford free grazing. But there are areas that we need to think openly and critically as people who understand the dynamics and the global changes that we have experienced.
That is very beautiful. But based on experience and by the fact that I come from Teso myself, it is very stubborn people and sometimes very negative. When they see something new, they will always try to say, but these people, how are you prepared to face that? And how are you going to change that mindset?
It's true. Right now, people are negative. It's not because they intend to do so. Maybe because so many attempts have not been successful. For example, I can tell you, there was a time they were spreading a gospel of Moringa in Teso. People plant Moringa. They didn't even know Moringa, but they brought seedlings and people planted. They expected their incomes to change. They expected to become rich. Again, there was this project recently of Shea. Shea is in people's stores. Has no market. Program of citrus and fruits that government has been promoting has not changed in people's lifestyles. So attitudes have been built on because the enterprises that have been taken there have not changed people's lives. That's why ours is not to take what's new, but improve what exists. We cannot start innovating foreign investments or foreign crops or any other until people have experienced the beauty of what they have. That's why we're thinking, how best can potatoes become useful better than selling them in sacks to Kampala markets? How can maize be added to value? How can rice become more valuable? How can peanuts become more valuable? It's the thinking within the Teso Professionals. So we want to improve what exists. We want to build on the local enterprises that are already there, and we want to expand and add value to what we are already doing. That's why we are looking into technologies and skills that can enable the existing enterprises to become valuable. Then now we can say, let's expand to the best things that we can introduce.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Now, just one thing that I would like to know. I'm very aware that on the 28th of this month, you're going to be launching the Teso Professionals office. Could you please walk us through what this launch is all about?
A launch is just like you are wedding your wife. You need to introduce her to your in-laws or your parents, you, the boys. You bring her and say, here she is that I have chosen. Then it is so people need to know who are the Teso Professionals, where are they located, what is their objective, what do they intend to do. So this process on 28th is to say, here we are, your sons and daughters. You've educated us, you've given us the skills, you've enabled us to get exposed. Some of us have got jobs, we have gathered an experience, but we are coming to do something. Oh, this is the launch. And we are called this. This is our objective. That is the purpose of the launch. We want to introduce ourselves formally to the people of Teso and tell them even where we are located and what we have done so far and what we do.
So where is this launch going to be and what time is everything beginning?
It will be in Bugolobi, Royal Suits. The program will start at 9 and I encourage people to keep time. The chief guest will be Honorable Gigi Odongo, the Minister of Internal Affairs.
Wow.
So it will close at 1:30 midnight.
So basically, when you say Honorable Gigi Odongo, this already looks to me like it's a very big function. what should the people coming to attend expect? Is there going to be a lot of dancing? Is there some bit of eating? I don't know. What should we expect?
Not really. I must say, okay, snacks will be there, definitely. You cannot host people and leave them go with a dry mouth. But they should expect to know who we are, learn, and know how to get involved. I think the most important thing is, how will I participate? What will be my contribution? At what area can I intervene? I think they should come prepared to hear and know, and also offer themselves in this. We can't be few to do it. Every Teso went to school and at least attended a college as a professional. So therefore, they should come expected to know how they can participate, how they can contribute, and at what level they can contribute.
Wow, that sounds beautiful. So who exactly is invited? Am I just free to walk in? Who is invited?
We will send out the invitations to all social media groups and some specific invitations to the targeted guests. We have invited our political leaders at academic level. We have invited the ICHU as an institution, and we expect the Prime Minister and some other ministers from ICHU. We are also expecting to have professionals who have already subscribed to this and believe it's the right thing. They will come. We're expecting some students, because we want to introduce the young people from university to this program. We're also inviting their leadership from nearby universities, and then also there are some few artists that we shall invite, because that's just a profession, to come and entertain the people. And then, of course, we were expecting the members who just fill their nominations.
Thank you. You just mentioned about students, and I'm just trying to imagine there's a student outside there. He has heard of Teso Professionals, and is probably in his second or third year, and he's been asking himself, so what happens to me after the university? What steps should this student take to become valuable or to become valued at Teso Professionals?
We are thinking, as I tell you right now, we're looking for thinking stage, what we call planning stage. It's not a short period, you can't do it in 1-3 days. We're looking for thinking. How can we engage with young people? We want to create internship opportunities, training opportunities in different skills, in different professions. For example, in the media, how can those people who are doing ICT, how can we help them practice their skills? Then those that are in agriculture, when we have initiatives down on the ground, we want to see that they participate. They get to acquaint themselves with the realities of the ground and also practice their skills. So engineering and what. So we are thinking on how to involve them immediately they leave. As they look for jobs, how can they be contributing to the community is what we are thinking about. But we want to draw this and we shall have a deeper discussion with them, so that it's not that we can employ them because we don't have jobs. We are also volunteers as we speak, giving in without any pay. But we feel the pay is seen, our communities change. So we will see how to involve them. We shall see how to make them participate. And that is the work we are doing right now.
And then just one question. The name sounds Teso Professionals. But if I may say, I know Teso as a region might be having a number of people who have not been to school. They don't have any profession, because if you look at the national clock or the national cake, you might find that the number of eaters who are in the universities vis-a-vis the number of other tribes in the universities is quite low. That quite means the number of eaters who are out there who have never been to a college or to a university, but they might exactly be very talented in other things. I have been to Amuria and I've met boys who can sing. I have met boys who can run. What is your plan for this? Because they are also eaters. What is your plan for these people?
They are professionals. In Teso tradition and culture, we had people who are called blacksmiths. They are never going to school, but they had skills, and that was their profession. There were those who knew how to drum. You couldn't organize a function and invite anybody to drum at them. So we will organize all these people under sectors. As I said earlier, we have sectors that we will handle. Personally, I am heading the sector on gender, youth, and sports. We will bring all these skills together. We will pull them, and we're looking at how can we promote these skills? How can we create an avenue for them to be seen, for them to get into that paid level? So we are thinking all of them will be pulled on board: musicians, sports personalities, the entertainers, comedians. All of them will be reached out.
Will there be any comedian performing in Teso on the 28th?
I among the artists, possibly one of them is a comedian.
Wow, that is so beautiful. So this sounds like an exciting journey that is started.
Yes.
And that is on the 28th. You're launching the office at Royal Suits, Bugolobi. So after this launch, what happens then? Are we launching and then we go merrymaking? What happens?
There are a lot of activities that are ongoing that I am not going to reveal right now until 4th July. On 4th July, we plan to have an investment plan released, and we expect to hand it over to Paternal Board and the cultural institution to adopt it, and that's what we're working on. That's when we shall now give people the real direction and the key things that we feel we should start with as Teso Professionals.
That is really, truly very beautiful. But just before I let you go, what are some of the biggest challenges that you people have identified that you'd want to appeal to everybody in Teso to say, look, we have this challenge and we can work on this challenge and be better people?
People have reached a level of apathy and they think there is nothing possible. A majority of them think their status is now a status of content. Many people think they are comfortable, what they are going through is normal, and it's very dangerous. To think that being poor and just waking up in the morning, talk to your neighbor, go dig a little and go to drink is normal. It's not normal. We must change that. It's an experience that I have gone through personally, and so many of us have seen that our people are getting comfortable with the challenges that we are going through. Therefore, that mindset has to change. Secondly, people think you need a lot of money to change your situation. Others think when we mention Teso Professionals, we are coming with money and we are going to distribute the money to develop them. But I can tell you, money is out there, but that money cannot come until the ideas have been seen and have been recognized as good ideas. What we want our people to prepare for is that everything on earth, if you put your mind, it's possible. That is the message I want them to get. Nothing is impossible. Bazungus, those ones who have reached to the moon, actually were like us, some generations ago. They were so poor. There was no industrialization. Everything was local. But because they put their minds into something, they are now reached the moon. We have now got rocket science. People are launching missiles. They were not born with that. They just had to put their minds. People have built cities in the desert, like Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Those places do not have what we have. We are much better than them. This country has oil. This country has fertile lands. This country has natural food. This country has water. This country has forests. This country has everything, and Teso has everything to get rich. What Teso needs is right thinking, right attitude, and energy focused the same direction and development.
Just one question. I had a chat with someone from Teso recently who told me one of the biggest challenges in Teso is that the leaders in Teso and the people who have seen the light in Teso do not want to hold their friends in their hands and pull them to the next level. Rather, they think the rest of the people in Teso should remain to be their slaves, whereas they celebrate. What is your take on this?
The characteristics of a poor, disorganized society all over is like that. Selfishness comes in. Bourgeoisie comes in. Those who are rich want to remain rich and skip others down. But I can tell you, that's not the Teso. It's not the culture of Teso. Teso culture was a culture of sharing. Teso culture was a culture of togetherness. You just have to akuta and alud, blow the trumpet, and everybody knew there was a problem and they would go there. It's not. This is foreign and it has to die because it's a foreign culture. Selfishness, greed, it was not born with us. Therefore, I must appeal to the leaders. No rich man can build a mansion and the neighbor is poor and that mansion is vacant. No rich man can educate his child, a daughter, and his neighbor's sons are drug abusers and she will not be raped. No rich man can ever build a farm of animals and the neighbors are poor and smoking and they will not stay. If they want to sustain their power, sustain their wealth, keep their children safe, they must empower their neighbors. They must empower the communities. Otherwise, they will one day be seen as strangers and the same communities will destroy them. I encourage them, for the safety of your own home, for the safety of your own child, daughter, make your son's neighbor educated, empowered, and rich. Otherwise, your grandchildren will be children of a drug abuse.
But what about these people? Because I've also met this section of people who are just complainers all the time. And there's also this tendency. I remember I traveled to Usuk, I heard this. I traveled to Kalaki, I heard this. That instead of people from Teso embracing development as it comes, others just tend to say, that's where he gets money. What is all this about?
It's lack of information. We have an information gap in Teso. It's a real fact. People, for example, believe that everything in their lives must be done by government and their leaders. Therefore, those who are rich must have done something. Because why is it that they are not rich? So that attitude of thinking that somebody else is supposed to do you something, or you get rich by miracles or witchcraft or what, it's an attitude that's developed as a result of apartheid, where people don't believe it's possible. Now they say, how can so and so son who has been us here go to Kampala and come back with a bus company? He must have gone to the water. Because they don't believe it's possible. They have reached a level they think everything is hard. But I can tell you what we need right now as Teso professionals, as Teso leaders, as Teso community, is to know that the world left us long ago. That is one thing we need to put in our minds. That development seems to have evaded us some time back. Where those who got on board, for example, I cannot be shy. I've been to the western region of Uganda. They were not like us years ago. People may think President Museveni comes from there, that's why they're like that. But I can tell you, most people who push wheelbarrows in Kampala and sell tomatoes and sell onions, Irish fruits, are people from the west. They don't sit, they don't sleep, they don't sit drinking, playing cards. They work. So ethics of work are the ones that are lacking. We spend only 1 hour or 2 in the garden, the rest we have spent in the center. That cannot make us rich. We must go back to a work environment like we used to be. Come home, eat, return to the garden in the afternoon. Only that choose what work you do in the morning, what work you do in the afternoon. That is one. Secondly, alcoholism has also created us problems. You go into the villages, we spend much of our income on drinking and luxurious lives. When I say luxurious, you find a person who has sold a goat, but he will spend that money slowly on drinking beer and eating pork and mchomo in the trading center. He does not save that money somewhere and say, when I sell the next goat, I will add. So visions, our visions are narrowed. And therefore, when we see a neighbor who is rich, we think that one has performed witchcraft. But there is no witchcraft in riches. It takes hard work. And I want us, my people, let's go back to fold our trousers and to tie our laces and do work, and riches we shall see riches now.
And someone is just asking me that they have heard Power Mike is going to be there at the launch. I think he sounds a little bit scared. Power Mike is going to kind of kick him like, dum, dum. What should this person expect?
Entertainment.
So
lively and a function. Power Mike is just bringing a lively environment to the organization. I must say he's one of our icons, and we must use him as a resource in Teso to train our people. Sports, I must say, is one of the most paid jobs that so far you can really do without being a sport. The most paid people who have the highest salary in the world are sportsmen. Footballers in the world, one footballer in UK, one footballer in Germany, one footballer in Portugal is paid a salary in a year that can fund entire ministry in Uganda, for example, a ministry of health. One sports person. We have seen golfers in America. We have seen basketballers who are richer than a ministry in Africa. So if you put 10 top sports people in the world, they can fund Ugandan budget for a financial year.
Wow.
So I must say, we should see Power Mike as an icon. We should see Power Mike as a role model. It's also Apollo is also there. Okwi in football is also there. In athletics, our girls, our boys are coming up, and we want to see that we recruit and mobilize all talented Teso in different sports to participate in sports that can leverage us. One single footballer can develop a sub-county. So if that can be our investment, let's invest in sports. And we're going to use Power Mike to go down there and get fit boys to get more fit to kick. And kick positively, not negatively. Thank you.
All right, finally, before I let you go, please take this time to invite all the people you want to invite for the launch on the 28th of November.
First of all, I want to thank Honorable J.J. for accepting to be a chief guest in this function. And I must say, Papa, we're waiting for you. You shared in your office the details. And I must say, for now, you represent the highest level of leadership. You are our highest ranking soldier in the army. You are our highest ranking senior minister. You are our elder. You know more about Teso than we do in Teso Professionals. You represent a lot, and we are very proud. And we want to say, please come. No matter what, find your way in Bugolobi Royal Suits. We shall be very glad to receive you. Teso Professionals, all those who have confirmed. By the way, all those who have confirmed, I must say, keep time. By 9 o'clock, let the chief guest find us there. Professionals must learn that time management is key. Please come. All our chief guests, the MPs, and the ministers who are still in office, I hope no announcement will happen between now and Friday. But if it happens, please, whoever will be appointed between now and Friday to be a minister, be there. Our MPs be there. If our LOC5s who have picked this message, please come, drive your car. I know you are still new in office and car will not refuse to give you fuel. Come and be part of this function. Our students from different universities, please, the leaders of TESDA, come. Pape Moru, we expect your team. You may not be there personally, but Pape Kirigi, lead the ministers to Bugolobi Royal Suits. We shall be very glad to see you, and all our cheers and teeth will be out to receive you. Thank you so much. Be there 9 a.m.